All right, guys, we are back. The Brandon and Miyoshi Show is here again.
And he could believe it. Y'all notice that he has not said that anymore because I am here to stay. This is when you add claps to our video, okay?
I still feel away. I ain't gonna hold you, boss. I still feel away. All right, so we're gonna get straight into it. There's a situation, right? We have a superstar by the name of Serena Williams. Superstar. We have a rising star by the name of Naomi Osaka. Drinking sake in the Suzuki in Osaka. That ain't for everybody. But you know if you know. Alright, so there have been they had a while back, they had a match, right? Mm-hmm. And Serena loses to Naomi. Mm-hmm. And Serena looked so sad. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just like one of those things of I don't even know what to call it, like mortality. You know what I mean? Where you just kind of like, yo, I can't be at the top forever. So, and as I look, right, I'm like, okay, Naomi's super young, fresh on the scene, serving it up. You know, she's been doing it for a couple years now.
Literally serving.
And you see what I did. You see the bars. You see the bars geeked up. And then they're like, yeah, Serena Williams at 39. And I'm sitting here looking
they love to say her age.
I had no idea Serena was 39.
Yeah.
She whooping ass at 39.
Still the GOAT.
But she was so disappointed in herself, and I was just like, dang. And me as a spectator, I'm like, dog, you're 39, like it's chill, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking to myself, like, dog, your whole identity, potentially, I can't speak for her, but our idea of your whole identity is wrapped in tennis.
Absolutely.
So to see that you can't quite win like you used to, or to see like this girl is going to be in the way for as long as you were in the way for everybody else, I can only imagine like you kind of seeing the end and it being closer than it's ever been. And it's like, why do you think it is so hard for people to change? Like humans to change?
Take that one. I feel like you have a perspective on that. Because you've taught you. I feel like you've shared.
I don't know why. You know, I think that we are creatures of habit, and I think when you get into a habit, it's just hard to like surrender to the unknown. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it's when you get into a habit that you enjoy or that has given you some type of success or some type of admiration. It's like you ain't sure if you're gonna get that same love that you've grown so accustomed to in a new space. You're not comfortable in the space, you know what I mean? You don't know how deep the water is or how shallow the water is and what you have to do to navigate it.
Absolutely. And I, on that note, I love Snoop Dogg, right? He is the master of recreation, reinvention of self. Even listen, he ain't making new music like he used to or anything, but he is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, I did that rap, this, went into gospel, changed my name to Snoop Lion. Yeah. And they didn't work. Wasn't nobody calling him Snoop Lion. But he did it. And then went back to Snoop Dogg. Now he has shows. Martha Stewart, he's doing reality. He's able to reinvent himself because he knows that he's capable. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it like that, how capable are you? Because they have connection, right? Mm-hmm. Person like, myself, yes, I have connection. I don't have that type of connection or whatever, but you have to use what you have in order to get you to the next step. But it starts with your mindset. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, we are creatures of habit, and we do, we're sometimes our hardest critic. That we can't be anything better than what we are today because we're so great at this. And it's like, sometimes I've seen young people stay in a position too long that they're not even good at. Like, baby, this might not be for you. Right. Maybe you need to take a step back and reevaluate and move forward and transition. Totally. You know what I'm saying? So the mindset, we got to start working on the mindset.
But I think even when something is bad, at least it's comfortable. You know what I mean? That it's like, even for the people that you feel like may not be the greatest at stuff, like, at least I know what it's going to be. And if I know what it's going to be, I can prepare for it. Mm-hmm. But just walking out into the woods, you know what I mean? Yeah. You ever go hiking and you just stay on the trail? You ain't just trying to walk up the side of the mountain because you don't know what the hell is going on.
That's definitely me. I definitely got lost on that Hollywood hike one time from the...
Good.
It was perfect though.
Good.
It was beautiful.
You deserve that because the whole trail. All you gotta do is follow the trail.
Just follow the trail. But I wanted to, step out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I ended up finding some really cool things. I ran into the ranch over there. There's a ranch with the horses. Mm. That's how off I was.
Oh my God.
I was very off. But I found that I ended up meeting the owner. And I have him as like a friend. Okay.
Well, look here. This is what you're not going to do. And this is what people do. You have to be mindful. They will give you the exception and not the rule. I don't want to hear about the one time to work. Tell me about the time you got lost and you was hungry and you was thirsty.
No, listen. And then I went with my homegirl.
Okay. You see?
And we were lost. We got rained on. We couldn't find our way back for hours.
Preach.
But guess what?
Oh.
We had the best conversations that whole time. I mean, phone died. We couldn't. We thought we was never gonna see the mainland. We were like, we're never gonna see the mainland.
Good. I love it.
It was horrible, but it also was one of the best experiences. And when I take people on the hike now, like I know how to navigate through the spaces. So it's like going through it. Get some bruises and bumps along the way.
Some head slaps.
Probably I did get a rash from something I probably touched. It was like very scary.
Good for you.
But at the end of the day, hey, it's my life. I'm gonna live it. But at the end of the day, we can't be so in tune with just one thing, thinking that just is what's supposed to define us.
Right.
Like we're so powerful as human beings. We're so diverse. There's so much out there. And I'm speaking to the average person, not like these superstars, because again, they have an element of connection and platform that can help them get to the next level. I'm speaking to that person that it may feel comfortable in this space because they understand it, but it's like, are you really reaching your full potential? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really giving yourself the best life possible? Staying in that lane? Like, try it out.
But that's hard.
It is. I'm not saying it's easy.
That's hard.
Life is not easy.
To get to your full potential, y'all, I'm gonna keep it a buck. To get to your full potential is gonna kick your ass.
Absolutely.
My ass don't like feet like that. You know what I mean? How about y'all? Y'all ass like feet? Cause she talking about it like, just get out there.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. Bopped in the head a couple of times.
There will be, but the thing is, it's like you have to be optimistic about it.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, it's like I say you're gonna get bopped.
Oh.
But the way I say it is like, but understand that you're gonna come out on the other side.
Bopped.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think I'm like that with my church upbringing. Like there is always light at the end of the tunnel, but understand that you will be in the dark for a while sometimes.
In the dark.
And that's all. It's kind of cool.
But yeah, no, totally, and I completely agree. And again, I just always like to reference the middle because I think sometimes people start stuff and you forget about the middle, and that excitement that you have when you start is not going to be there in the middle. So it's like if you prepare, you bring a little lunch. So when you get in the middle, you get to snack on your lunch, you sit down, you regroup, whoop, change the game. Keep on going. So,
and remember that excitement when you first started.
Make note. Find new things to be excited about.
Absolutely.
Find new things.
Exactly. So transitioning.
Yes.
Say you're an actor.
Yes.
And all that. Do you feel like that has a time limit on you, or like, because I've seen you transition into a lot of different things, but still in this space of media and entertainment, I think you're pretty dynamic. Yeah,
see, it's tough, man. It's tough because there isn't, but there is, because it's based on each person. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you define success as? Mm-hmm. And what did you set out to do? And it's like, sure, you might not. All right, so you thought that the camera dying was gonna stop us? No. All right, so I was saying, I think it depends on how how you determine success. And I also think it depends on what you plan to do with your life, and like how what you decided fits into that. And although there may not be like a specific time limit on acting, there may be a time that I limit myself to act to get to this place or to get to that place. And if it doesn't work in that thing, then you got to transition to something else, potentially, depending on, and that varies from person to person. So for me, it's tricky, and it's a hard conversation that you have to have with yourself, because by this point I was pretty sure I was going to be Will Smith Jr. and I'm not quite. I'm like, I got maybe like the W and the I, but it's like some letters. There's still some letters, like they're like missing a little bit. But that could change in a day. That could change in a year. So it's just interesting as to like being optimistic, being honest, working really hard, and exploring what else you do. Or what else, what other things define you, how do you, what other gifts you have. And I think for me, I've been blessed in a sense to be able to explore a bunch of stuff. And like, I was on a talk show, like some pop TV show, like in 2014 that I really enjoyed. And I was like, like, this is fun. You know what I mean? Which is why I've been able to just kind of pop up and do these things. And I started a podcast like 2 years ago, and like that was really fun. And, doing the long text, I'm like, these things are like enjoyable. So it's like, they may not bring me the same joy as acting does, but maybe they can hold me over. Or maybe they lead me to the actual thing. So it's interesting. It's not easy.
It's not. And like one of my cousins, she's known for saying like, my plan B is to make my plan A work, right? And then my great aunt adds to that, like my plan B is to make my plan A work, but my plan C is lit too. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about preparing for different stages of life. And I like that you talked about success. You can define it. When I speak to young girls, because I have a nonprofit that I sit on the board, it's called Legacy Ladies, and our academy is From the Schoolhouse to the White House Leadership Academy and Young Minds Matter Leadership Academy. So it's for high school and middle school girls in South Central. But when I speak to them, I always say, what does success mean to you, right? And then they start to draft out what that looks like, and then they present it to everyone. Sometimes that's hard to talk, but you present it to everyone, and you see the diversity in their ask or their request or what they think success means. And so once you have your idea of what that is, then you can go out and start to plan according to that. And you might see that it grows into something even greater, or you might have to be honest with yourself and realistic to be like, that's not really in my cards based on my skill set, stuff like that. So I'm a big advocate about writing things out, planning things. Everything is not going to go according to your plan. I don't care how well you plan. Something is it's not gonna turn out just like you wrote it.
Never do.
It just never happens.
Never do.
But if you at least start that way, it'll give you direction and understand that, again, my plan B is to make my plan A work, but my plan C is lit too. Got it. And I really like that.
So here's my question. What do you feel about plan Bs?
Plan Bs? I'm cool with that. Again, if you notice during the
do you feel like you can truly get to a plan A with a plan B?
But that's what I just said. I said my plan B is to make my plan A work. So I'm gonna work my booty off in order to get to that plan A, because ultimately this is what I either think my purpose is, where my skill sets lie, what makes me kind of me, like what made me special. Got it. But if I have to transition, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be the hardest conversation that I have to say with myself. It's gonna be the hardest prayer that I'm gonna have to make. Like, it's gonna get on my nerves. And because, again, the comfort level. But I started off in tech. I knew that I wanted to be, in the creative space, but I started off in an uncomfortable space so that when I get to where I really want to be, that it'll make sense. Because it was the easy way. My brain, so
okay.
I dang near think like an engineer, like qualitative, analytical, things like that. That's the way I think. I'm very literal in a sense with things when it comes to numbers and facts and da-da-da. So I got into the entertainment industry through the background. So through tech, servers, control rooms, things like that. Yeah. Ultimately, I did want to be in front of the camera. I wanted to do some on-camera hosting and all those things. But there were certain elements that were holding me back, that I knew that it was not going to happen in that time, right? So that technically, I used my plan B, which was tech, to make my plan A work. Now I got all the connection that I want,
right,
to get to where I want to go. It's strategic.
Yeah,
you got to be strategic.
Right, but I think that is good strategy, but I don't think that's what you wanted to do.
No,
and I think, and I think sometimes people get into other stuff because they be scared that they plan A might not work.
Fear is in everything that you do. And that's why I like Will Smith, like you said, which I'm supposed to be jumping out of a plane soon, which I'm still...
Ben did that.
See, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you can put your... Is it crazy?
It is.
Like, okay,
it's way manageable.
When you first jump out the plane, like, you've been on Goliath.
Yeah.
You know that's to me almost the scariest part, right?
It ain't no
and then the plane, it just goes up, right?
Okay.
That's the scariest part for me.
Okay.
But the feeling at the tip, like as soon as you go down, right? That like the thing in your stomach that goes from your stomach to your throat,
right,
all at one time. Do you feel that? Like, what is that when you jump out? Like,
it's all happening so fast. Here's I'm gonna just give it up, y'all. Here's the things that they don't tell you about skydiving. When you jump out the plane, right?
There ain't no going back.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Clearly
but there's you don't have any more control, right? And that's just is what's happening to you. And by the time your body adjusts to you moving that fast, it's pretty much over, right? Then you pull the parachute. For me, the scariest part of skydiving is being up that high and floating down. Because you're done with the adrenaline part. You're done with the free fall. Oh my God! Now you still got 45 seconds till you get to the floor. You can die at any point from when that parachute is out until you hit the ground. You can die. You know what I mean? Also, when you jump out of the plane, your ears explode. Your ears pop in a way that you've never experienced. I thought I lost my hearing.
Oh, I'm done.
I was like, oh, damn. I was like, damn, that's crazy. I just lost my hearing skydiving. Like, I guess it was worth it. And I'm sitting there battling to get my hearing back because
while you're falling. Yeah. This is all happening while you're falling.
All this is happening while you're trying to open your eyes. You know what I mean? You got glasses on. You're trying to open your eyes and all of this, blah, blah, blah. But all this is going on. And then it's over. The only moment that you really have to conquer the fear is how you exit the plane.
Yeah.
Whether you lead the jump or because the person is going to push you out because now we're dealing with safety. And it's their safety as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only part that you really have control. Committing to it. These are the things that you really commit into it, going through it, getting in the plane, and how you exit the plane. After that, it's nothing else in your control.
That's a good framework for transitioning and going after whatever you want to do. That y'all need you need to charge for that.
Oh damn!
That needs to be in the book.
Oh damn!
Coming soon.
Damn!
I'm just saying,
that's good.
Because when you think of it that way, that's why I write it I don't write everything out, but when I plan my life, that's exactly how I plan it.
Right.
And if you go in things blind and you got fear, like you literally have no idea,
right?
Blah, and there's fear, you're not doing it.
No.
And when you do it, you're going to fail and fail and fail and be discouraged and more discouraged and depressed, and then you're gonna be like old and felt like you didn't accomplish anything.
Right. And I think the time lost in the wilderness until you get to the level that you should have started with the plan is the important part. Because you'll eventually figure it out. If you stay in anything long enough, you figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's like if you start with the plan, then boom, you know what I mean? Then you're making your way.
And understand that, again, it's not perfect. Your plan is not perfect.
Right.
And reaching perfection is freaking impossible.
Let it go.
Let that idea freaking go. But be able to operate in fear. Fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. And what you have in you, and I'm going to continue to say this, and I know you probably hear it throughout this series, you're equipped in order to create the success that you desire. And if you see it, you can be it. And if you don't, you be the first.
Woo. Be the first on today. Yes. Boom. We're going to end it right there. That's a sermon.
I'm done.
Close your Bibles, y'all, as we call for the benediction. Close your Bibles. Is there one?
Not the benediction.
Is there one? Is there one? You will not walk alone. Is there one? That ain't for everybody. But if it's for you, it's for you. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping by again, and we'll talk to you soon. Let us know your ideas about change.